How's it going, everyone? This is Ernest with UpFix. Today we have a special video for you. We have a Ford Mustang Saleen edition. This is from 2005 to 2009. And as you'll notice on this, when I power it on, all the gauges are stuck. And none of them are moving at all. You hear some diagnostic lights going on, beeping. And you can see here, the gauges are all in different directions. So what I'm going to be showing you today is how to replace the stepper motors that control the gauges, and showing you that we can also replace the stepper motors right here. And we also have LED lights to fix any kind of diagnostic or backlighting issues on these. So let's get started. The plastic lens is fairly straightforward to remove. There's two tabs on the back. I'm just using a flathead screwdriver like this and just loosening up the top here, flipping it over, and there's three tabs, as you can see, 1, 2, and 3. And 2 on the top. So these are already disengaged, as you can see. It's ready to open up halfway there, and then you can do this. Honestly, you can do it with your fingers like that, as long as you're careful. Most clusters you have to use a flat screwdriver, or there's some screws holding it in, but on this one it's fairly straightforward to just remove that plastic lens like so and put it to the side. And once you get in there, you'll see the gauges, and you can see on this one they're going in all different directions because they're seized up. And if you can hear it closely, I'm going to be quiet for a second, you can hear that gauge on the speedometer. You can hear that grinding action inside of the stepper motor because it's actually seized up and grinding on the exterior, so that stepper motor has to be replaced. Brand new ones are going to be ultra quiet, you're not even going to be able to hear it, but when they're usually failing, they'll start making a smaller noise, and eventually it gets louder and louder to the point where it makes a large grinding sound. So we're going to actually remove all these needles and then get inside and remove the stepper motors. So we're going to use a plastic trim remover to remove the two large gauges, the tachometer, speedometer, and the four small gauges, fuel, temp, volt, and oil. I'm going to rotate this here and actually just remove it like so. These do come out fairly easy. If they don't come out at first, just be patient and hold it underneath. Time under tension does help these needles to be removed. So just go in there and slowly remove them, like so. I usually try to go in from the back, that way, and you want to be mindful that you get enough leverage on these, so they do come out, and that you're not leaning it over the LCD screen, that you're not going where the needle is so it doesn't bend it. I usually rotate it, go underneath it, and take it out like so. Once you have all the needles removed, now we can remove the back cover of this instrument cluster. And again, it's very straightforward. 2 tabs on the top and 3 tabs on the bottom. And then you have these 2 extra side tabs on the corners. So I'm going to stand it up like so. Disengage the bottom tabs. And there we have it. Now we have full access to the circuit board. And as you can see on this one, the needle, shaft, and the pins of the stepper motors are actually facing one direction. So it's all coming through the back side, and it's all soldered in from the top. So you can see the needle here. If we were to put the needle on here directly, you can see the 4 pins and the needle shaft itself. So we're going to get started, and first thing we're going to do is just power it up once more and just kind of see what it's doing. So as you can see, the backlights on this one is working just fine. It's going to make some noise. For the red lights are to illuminate the needles themselves, and the white lights are for the background. So we're going to go straight to removing the stepper motors and installing brand new ones. So we're going to get started on that. I'm going to use some wick and using a solder pencil, removing the old solder on the original stepper motors. As you can see, it's a very straightforward process. Alrighty, now that we have that, we're going to trim this off. We're going to use a finer screwdriver and rotate to the back side of it. And I'm going to be removing this stepper motor. You'll hear a few snap, and essentially here we have it. So on the stepper motors, when you're putting in a brand new one, it's got these 3 plastic tabs. So that means that it can only go in one way. And you can't put upside down or reverse. So it's very simple and straightforward as far as installing a brand new one. So once the old stepper motor has been removed, I'm going to go ahead with some wick and make sure that those solder pads on the circuit board are free of any debris or solder, so the new ones can go inside fairly straightforward and easily. And I'm going to go ahead and put this stepper motor in, and you want to make sure these are straight, and because once you put it through, all 4 of these legs right here should be showing up on the other side. If they're not, that means one of them is pinched. So I'm going to go like that, and it should be fully flat with the circuit board. If it's tilted and you solder it in crooked, then the needle itself will actually be crooked as well. So that's one important thing, is you want to make sure it's fully flat, inspect it, and then go ahead and solder it up. Like so. And that's pretty much it. That's how you replace the stepper motor. What I'm going to do now is just make sure that it's pretty clean and free of any debris, solder splashes, and just clean that up. And it's barely noticeable that this one's already been replaced. We're going to work on the other 5 and just continue going. Alright, so the brand new stepper motors have been installed, and now we're just going to be testing it to make sure it's working just fine. I'm plugging it in from the back, turning on the power supply. I can already hear the noise is much more smoother and quieter. We're going to power it off, and once we put these needles back on, we'll be able to see if the repair is good and calibrate the gauges for the final assembly. So now I'm putting this back on, and it should snap right into place, making sure that every single individual spot is good, nice and secure. I do recommend powering on the gauges before you put on the needles. That way they're already at 0, and then you can do the final calibration on it. So I'm putting them on, putting on the big needles first. Now the fuel and the temperature, they're all resting on the 10 o'clock position, whereas these are inverted on the bottom, the oil gauge and the battery gauge, especially if you have a 6 gauge configuration Mustang instead of the 4. You want to make sure that they're going the opposite way. Alright, so now the needles are probably at a 2-3 o'clock position. I'm putting them on the other way so that I can see them sweeping, powering on the power supply. And you can see they're not fully calibrated just yet. Gonna power it off and make the minor adjustments that we need to make sure they're fully calibrated. So the final calibration has been completed, and if you notice before, when it was much more noise, way more smoother and quieter. So all these gauges should have a similar sound to them when you replace them with brand new stepper motors. And when you power it up, they'll just make a regular noise that the OEM factory stepper motors would make. And now we just close it back up together, reassemble this plastic lens. And that's how you repair this Ford Mustang instrument cluster. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.